Hello again, Jim Dowson here, your guest presenter with the Templar Daily Report. How are yous all, and welcome. Okay, let's have a piece of paper everywhere. Let's have a wee look. Who's in here? William Petit, how you doing, brother? We tried to phone you back, but you weren't about. We'll try again after the broadcast, maybe. Ewan Eggerstron, how you doing? Nice to see you. Jim Young, nice to see you. Natasha McLean, God bless you, sister. How you doing? Christopher Strid, how you doing? Jonathan Bedeen, God bless you and your good lady. John Wilmot, nice to see you. Lady Rotha, always good to see you in hen. Mark Anthony Smith, nice to see you. Cherry B, how are you? Gary Hardwick, nice to see you as well. He's in Warsaw, Virginia. Good gracious. Here we go. Andy, how you doing? Need to find out about this ticket of yours, brother. See, I hope you're taking care of yourself, because we need you. John Andrews from Ontario. Naomi Ford, how are you? EMS Rejuvenation, Mr. Makoka, nice to see you. William Mumford, Gary Hardwick, nice to see you. Who else? Aaron Williams from Champaign, Illinois. Very good. And Bartley Burke, a good man himself. Frank, Big Frank, how you doing? Elliot Lamb, nice to see you. Oh, Burt Myers, faithful Burt. And Geminus Fortuminous, how are yous all? Scott Rash, how are yous? Hot and muggy, it's freezing and wet here, terrible. Dan Gerard, nice to see you as well. No, I've seen that, did I see that? I've seen some. Oh, I jumped. Where am I a minute? We'll get back on. Aye. Troy Otto, nice to see you. Alex Cattrall, nice to see you. Robert Erickson, Philip Milne, how you doing, Philip? Paul Telfer for Liverpool, nice to see you, Paul. Hopefully see you soon. Malcolm Cook. Chris White, Welshman, nice to see you. James Williams from Kentucky. Mark Anthony Smith from Sweden. Joseph Taylor, TK Sterling. You're right, brother. Niles, I don't know what that means. Desvolt, good to see you. Who have we got? Bruce Samuelson. Scorpion, nice to see the Scorpion. Greg Howard, nice to see you as well. Brian Payton. Ross Fraser, how are you? Nick, how you doing, Nick? Nice to see you. TT Foley, good fella. I've seen most, I think. Joseph Taylor, yep. Ross Fraser, yep, seen them. I think we've just about covered them. Okay, Michael McGuffin, nice to see you. Alright, let's make a wee start here. Remember, like the video, click subscribe, press the bell and comment below. And please, remember, share the video. It's very important. You can do that. It's not too arduous, but let's share the video. Wee bit of scripture again. I'm still in James because I'm doing the study in it. James chapter 1, and just two verses, 23 and 24. For if any man be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass, in a mirror. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. It's about kidding ourselves on, folks. So, if you're only a hearer of the word, not a doer, you might look in the mirror and think, I'm doing all right. I'm doing a good job. I'm in there. I'm involved in a cause. But you're not. And when you look in the mirror, you know it. You know it. And that's the thing. And sometimes people hate my guts and they hate the Templars because we remind people of, are you involved? Are you not involved? And people think they're involved because they subscribe to a certain channel or they do something. No, you've got to be far more active than that to be involved in the struggle or in the fight. And some people say, well, I fight 5G. Really? 5G isn't raping our girls and beheading our people on the streets and putting bombs off in children's concerts. But it's much safer than opposing the jihadis, and it's much safer than opposing other things. So, let's get involved, folks. This is masculine Christianity. And, don't get me wrong, some women are very strong, stronger than men. But it's primarily a masculine Christianity. So that means we need men to be men. And that comes from inside, not the outside. Muscles don't count. It's strength of will, strength of character, and being a man of great integrity. And all of those things are only possible if you're a man of faith. That's it. You've got to be proactive, not just reactive. And it's a good thing. So let's get organised. Right, I want to talk about this mad story that I've got. It's getting madder every day. I don't know where I'm half the time. Transgender girl. It's star of BBC children's show First Day. Now, bear with me here because I get so mixed up with all this. People keep changing their genders every week. I have no idea where I'm. The BBC is pushing the boundaries on children's television by broadcasting a drama about a 12-year-old transgender girl's move into secondary school. First Day, which launched on CBBC. That's children's BBC, isn't it?
It is.
Good grief. Stars the transgender actress Evie MacDonald, oh, it's a Scottish name as well, as Hannah Bradford, who tries to relaunch her life after being targeted by bullies at the primary school. Charities praised the show as groundbreaking. Yeah, I'm sure they did, for representing the lives of transgender children. But some campaign groups accused the BBC of broadcasting propaganda. We're one of them. Saying that the series could leave young viewers confused.
Is that trying to be a boy trying?
Brother, don't confuse me. No, I don't know what it is. Who knows? I'll try and get through here, but it's very confusing. Hannah is banned from using the girls' toilets and is unable to attend a friend's sleepover because the host does not yet know she is transgender, but ultimately shakes off her bully to find pride in her identity. Yeah, me. However, wait till this one gets to about 15 or 16 and saying they're a girl, but they've still got a penis and doing sleepovers then. Every teenage boy's dream. My goodness, I gotta tell you this, and I take no pride in it. But when I was 15-year-old and this stuff was about, I'd have declared myself a transgender to get into amongst all them sleepovers with them girls in the school. You better believe it. I'd have dyed my hair purple and said I was transgender. Oh, aye. What young fella wouldn't? See, you don't know how serious this is. Anyway, Stonewall, wretched militant LGBT charity, said that they were thrilled that First Day was being broadcast in the UK as representation is so important. What about the representation of us normal, white, decent, straight Christians? We don't have any representation. However, other lobby groups which believe the biological sex is observed at birth, not assigned, expressed concern. Yeah, we're one of them. You don't get assigned a penis or a vagina. It's there or it's no there. It's as simple as that. You don't say, excuse me, I'll have one of them. The nurse comes round with a trolley with private parts and they say, could you stick one of them in my kid? Because my kid's completely neutral at the moment. So I'll pick to put this appendage on it or this orifice on it. It's nonsense. You are what you are. But these people are saying that you're assigned a gender at birth. No. If you have a penis, you are a boy, a male. If you have a vagina and no penis, you are a female, a girl. That's it. That's not Jim Dowson's opinion. It's not the opinion of the Templars. It is a fact, a biological reality. And anybody who doesn't realise that, there's something deeply wrong with them. But now, the BBC, with taxpayers' money, is pumping this stuff, not to us, but our children. This is on children's BBC, CBBC. It's truly wicked, truly. Kate Harris of LGB Alliance said, it takes a fundamentally one-sided approach to a really complex issue. It's asking children to accept that a boy who feels like a girl is in fact a girl. Ooh, it's a bit of dissension in the ranks, I think, there, because they're the LGB Alliance, not LGBTQ+. So they're all falling out of each other. They can't even agree. They're all mad, and if you put two mad people in a room, don't be surprised if those mad people don't see eye to eye, because both of them will think they're Napoleon. And they'll have a right old ding-dong. Who's the real Napoleon? This is what's happening with these people. They're disappearing down a rabbit hole of insanity, of immorality, of unrighteousness, ungodliness and wickedness. And I'll tell you, it won't be too long before God says, I've had enough of this nonsense, and sweeps the whole lot away. And that's a reality that we Christians look forward to. The day when the clouds crack with a mighty thunder and the clouds open and fire from heaven comes with 100 million angels on horses with flaming swords to destroy the wicked. And if anybody thinks that I'm a raving lunatic and it won't happen, oh, I can assure you it will happen. I could stake my life on it. It will happen because the Bible says it's going to happen. And if the Bible says it's going to happen, it will happen. No ifs, buts, maybes, or in-betweens. It will happen. God does not lie. And he's told us this is what's going to happen. And he'll do it. And I hope he does. Lord, come quickly, because this is driving me mad. These people are getting madder by the day. And remember, even in the ancient times, what did they say? Before the gods destroy a people, first they make them mad. And if we have any doubts that we are living in days when the people running our countries are totally bonkers, well, you must have your head in the sand or something. I don't think there's ever been a time or age where people have been so mad. Men don't know they're men. Women don't know they're women. People think somebody writes a piece of paper when you're born to determine your gender. Nothing to do with your physical appearance. It's complete lunacy. Lunacy. If you went back 20 years and spoke like this, ladies and gentlemen, you know this. If you said these things 20 years ago, you would have been kept talking Well, somebody in the other room would be phoning the authorities, and men in coats, white coats, would come in with a big net and throw it over you and drag you off to some secure establishment to get you treatment. But now we promote them and we give them government money to be the head of committees to push this stuff, because we're the ones that's mad because we don't accept it. So therefore there's more education needing done to us so that we see the error of our ways and understand that a man with a beard and a penis and testicles, no, that's just our social conditioning. That's a social construct. What we're looking at there is possibly a woman. May God take me before this thing becomes compulsory. I remember an old man saying to me once, he says, I'm glad I'm old and going to die soon. He says, because when I was a young boy, all this stuff, homosexuality, was illegal. And when I was a middle-aged man, it became accepted. He says, I hope the good Lord takes me before it becomes compulsory. I think I agree with that sentiment exactly. Well, let me see now. I'm going to go into another story, but I think first I want to show you a wee update. I want to give you a wee update on the St. Donald's Chapter House and Chapel. Well, the chapel might bear a different name, but the whole thing now is under St. Donald's. Let's have a wee look where we are. This is today. We couldn't do work for a couple of days because of the horrendous rain and storms that we had here in freezing weather. But there we are. What do you think of that, ladies and gentlemen? It's looking good, but it's getting up. We're just doing the final measurements now for the windows, because the guy we're getting the windows off, he works in millipedes and centipedes, these millimetres and all this wretched European nonsense. What is wrong with inches? Listen, we won 2 world wars working with inches, feet and yards. And the Europeans said centimetres and millimetres and metres, and we beat them twice. Does that not tell you everything you need to know? We have to get back to the old imperial measuring system. I don't like these centimetres and millimetres. A lot of rubbish, French nonsense, away with them. Get back to our old British imperial measuring, and I'll tell you, this country will flourish, because it trains your brain, because the money's very complicated. It's in divisions of 8 and divisions of 12 and all that, and if you have to count all that money in your head. See, my father wasn't an educated man. You could ask him a complicated mathematical question, he would shut his eyes and bang, give you the answer, because they were trained into great mathematical skills because of the complexity of our old imperial system. That is why Britain, especially Scotland, produced the world's best engineers. There's hardly a bridge or a tunnel built anywhere in the Anglosphere that wasn't built by a Scotsman. But now you work with these millimetres and centimetres, multiples of 10. A moron could do it. It's easy. Nonsense. Doesn't stretch your brain. And they still can't do it. I spoke to a tradesman today, he hadn't a clue. He had some of his sizes in centimetres, some in millimetres, hadn't a notion what it really meant. I just despair. Get back to I know the Americans, God bless you, use work still with the old British imperial sizes. But you've got it wrong as well, because a gallon in America is slightly less than a gallon in Britain. Yep. And a mile in Ireland is slightly longer than a mile in England. So there's a few things need ironed out there. But yeah, an American gallon's about, if you go in litres, it's about a quarter of a litre less than a British gallon. I don't know why. Who knows? Things get mixed up, I don't know. But I don't like this. Michael B says he's a moron, he needs metric. If the cap fits, brother, if the cap fits. What age are you, Michael? Because I don't believe you're a moron. What age are you? You're probably under 40 and you're a victim of this cultural Marxism to rob you of the old, decent, normal measuring things. In British Imperial, that's what you need. You don't need French metric. What's the French ever done? All the good French people went to Canada. They're all there. Ask Mr. Boudin. Oh, they all went to Canada. Yeah. Don't know who's left behind there now. So, that's it. Yeah, I don't like... Yeah, sales with shit, I suppose. So, who we got here? Yeah. Yeah. Ryan McGinley, another victim, 28. Oh, you've never used metric. God bless you, Ryan McGinley. God bless you. I don't know what it is, but I can't visualise metric. Somebody says to me it's 2.2 metres. I don't know what that means. But if somebody says to me that's 6'4", I can visualise it. Pounds, shillings and pence, that's right. And the Americans, although they work with pounds and stones and all that, they always give their weight. If you notice that, the Americans always say, I'm 190 pounds. Where in Britain we'll say, I'm 12 stone 6 or I'm 13 stone 2. That's my weight. I'm 13 stone 2. Now, I don't know what that is in pounds. You need to multiply it by 14. But the Americans always give it in pounds. But at least the Americans and us are on the same wavelength. What do the Australians use? Anybody in from Australia? What are they using? Are they using pound shilling? Are they using pounds and stones and what are they using? 100 weights and all that. Gallons. Do they use gallons or do they use litres?
No, I think they use gallons.
Do they?
But they're still operating 1 miles an hour in the road, so I think it's Imperial still.
Ah, strange. Scorpion, where's he from? He's saying, Jim, we're only an inch away from using the metric system. That's some kind of oxymoron there. You don't want it. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. Iwan Egerstrom, of course you would. You're European, aren't you? That metric system is no good. It's no good at all. Metric in Oz. Andy says metric. Oz have got metric. Oh, dear me.
It was 20 years ago it changed.
20 years ago. That's terrible. William Petite's £300. Good gracious, sir. You're a big fella. You were saying you'd trouble your legs. I'm not surprised if you're £300. What? We're going to have to send you Mr. Griffin's healthy eating. He'd done a video years ago about cooking healthy food so you wouldn't get heavy. Well, Mr. Griffin, you need to send that to our good dear brother, Mr. Petite. So,
21 stone, that's not really big.
oh no, is that what that is?
It's 21
I see they do have a 21 stone. That's not that heavy, brother. No.
I'm 17
Techie guy here's nigh on 18 stone. And he's a young fella. He's 18 stone with no excuse, doesn't even drink. That's terrible. Now, let me see. I want to talk about... so that's the wee thing. Let's get back to this. That's the chapter house now. These beautiful Gothic windows are going in shortly. If the guy ever measures them right. But it's beautiful, and then we have to put the roof on. We've actually got the carpet tiles. I seen a deal the other day on eBay. A wonderful thing, that eBay, isn't it? And it was brand new, beautiful olive green carpet tiles for virtually nothing. So, and again, they were square meters, and I got all mixed up. Anyway, I ordered them up for this building, and oh my goodness, hundreds of them have arrived. Boxes of them. There's enough to do with 6 buildings, but there's another building going on the other side of that wall. There's another building going on the other side of that wall. So, we got them for virtually nothing. And that'll be good because we like to save money. But remember, everybody who's given, God bless you, thank you. But we're still a wee bit off our target. So, and it's always the same people want to step in and say, I'll get it. No, we want everybody to be part of this. Because even if you give $1, you have a stake in this. You have a say in it. You have your spirit in it. You've contributed to it. And I think that's really important. So even if even if you're only $1, put $1 in. At least you would have paid for part of that building, and that means you are part of this exciting project. And some people are absolutely skint at the moment. That's fine, but we can all dig up $1, and it still means you're part of it. So whether you gave, remember, we're the Templars, we're fair right across the board. So whether somebody's gave $1,000 or $1, you're still part of this wonderful project. And so please take up my invitation and be part of it. And don't be embarrassed if you only got $1. $1's fine. Despise not the widow's mite, the Bible tells us, and the Templars despise nobody. We are the poor fellow knights. So that's it. Be part of it. You're being invited by me to be part of it. Even if you only get $1 or 50 cents, be part of it. I want you to be part of it because I want us all to be together. Right, I'm going to talk about... the pyramids were built with Irish. No bother, Neville. Nice to see you in. $1 down, $1 a month. My mother used to sign up for that. We were able to get us clothes. They'll pay down £1 this month and £1 a month. So we used to say you get £1 down and 3 months to pay, and if you don't pay, it's three months in the jail. Yeah, my mother used to have to get his clothes on the we call it in this part of the world the drip. So you put £1 down and then you pay £1. The woman would come round your door every Friday night and with a wee book and take another £1 off you, mark it in your book. So you're maybe only borrowing £10, you ended up paying 25 back. That's the way it is, isn't it? But when you're poor, you're poor. You know, you're in a bind, and it's a shame because poor people are the ones who are ripped off by these moneylenders, legal moneylenders, and they pay exorbitant rates of interest, where the rich people who don't need to be borrowing money, but they do anyway, they get away with paying virtually nothing back. And that's unfair, and that's something I would like to see changed. And I would like to see the Templars actually take that up as a cause, because it's a cause close to my heart, because I come from an impoverished background in central Scotland, the back streets of Glasgow, and it's terrible, the pain that these moneylenders inflict on people. They are charlatans, they are vultures, they are barracudas, they devour people, and it's not right, and it's ungodly. And I wish sometimes the churches would step in, and they would act maybe as loan brokers, so you could borrow money for the church like the old days, and pay it back to the church with no interest. Why don't the churches do that? Huh? The Church of England's get billions of pounds available in property and land and all this stuff. The Roman Catholic Church is tens, hundreds of billions, the richest corporation and the oldest corporation on the planet. Why don't they start offering loans through their churches? Some of these big Pentecostal churches, Joel Osteen, he's got hundreds of millions in the bank. Kenneth Copeland's a billionaire. Why can't he start a credit union where people can borrow money if at no interest, very low interest? This is really God's work in this day and age. We live in a financial capitalist society. Why aren't the churches stepping in to help the people? Why are we leaving it to these shysters? And I use that word carefully, shysters, who are absolutely fleecing the people. There was a company in this country called, what is it called? Wonga, or that other one, them payday loan people. Wonga, 2,700% interest. What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If Al Capone would have tried that, they would have locked him up for life. This is a registered, regulated British loan company. And they charge between 2,400 and 2,700% interest. Ladies and gentlemen, this should not be allowed. This is the worst form of exploitation I have ever came across, and these people should be in prison. They should be stripped of their assets because it's all been got by ill-gotten gains, by fleecing the poor people, and they should be stripped of everything they possess and flung in jail for 5 years to let them think about how wicked and evil they were. I can't stand it. It's terrible. But anyway, I want to get into another wee story here, and this is from Australia. I don't know if we have any Australians in the room today. I hope we have. But it's about Victoria in Australia. Victoria plans to extend state of emergency, you hear this, by 12 months. And this has prompted human rights concerns. Legal groups have warned against Victoria's plan to extend its state of emergency by 12 months, arguing that to comply with human rights obligations, Parliament should favour the most limited possible option when granting extraordinary powers. And do you remember we said this? Once these politicians get extraordinary powers or executive rule, you never get it back off them. It's the nature of these people. Victoria law currently allows the government to declare a state of emergency for 4 weeks at a time and to extend that declaration for up to 6 months. The state government declared a state of emergency due to the coronavirus pandemic on March the 16th and has renewed it 6 times in 4-week increments. The current state of emergency declaration expires on 13th of September, 3 days before the 6-month time limit expires. On Monday this week, the Premier, Daniel Andrews, said he would ask Parliament to extend the allowable period for a state of emergency to 12 months. You see, they're grasping at the power, folks, and then renew it, allowing Victoria to remain in a state of emergency until September next year, 2021. It comes as Victoria recorded 15 deaths and 116 new COVID cases, the lowest daily increase in case numbers in 7 weeks, 2 months. To date, 517 people have died in Australia, the whole country, after testing positive to COVID-19. But I just want you to watch the words here, because we're in a war now of words and deception. Listen carefully. To date, 517 people have died in Australia after testing positive for COVID-19. Now, they could have tested positive and died of cancer. They could have tested positive and got run over by a truck. They could have tested positive and shot themselves in the head with a shotgun. You understand? So 517 is nothing anyway of a country. How many's in Australia? 20 odd million or something? It's nothing. It's a drop. More people fall down the stairs over loose carpets. But that's 517 is probably no more than 200 in reality. 25 million in Australia, and 517 people have died with COVID, or not by COVID, but they had COVID. So people who died of cancer, other horrible diseases.
Even the UK statistics dropped by 5,000.
Yeah. Ours dropped by 5,000 when they took out different things. So that 517 is probably 200 people. So 200 people died of COVID, and that 200 people, the average age would be like the same as it is in Ireland or Scotland, 82. So 280-year-olds died of COVID in a country of 25 million, and the government want to extend the emergency powers and total lockdown for 1 year. Ladies and gentlemen, is the penny dropping yet? If there was any doubters out there, if there's anybody on here watching me thought, I think Jim's maybe a bit carried away with that. Is anybody still thinking that? Does anybody doubt what the Templars have been telling you now for nearly a year? that there is something coming so awful, so ghastly, so unbelievable, so incredulous that it'll blow your mind. It's coming. It's coming. Nobody's fooled by that. Well, you need to be a real imbecile to be fooled by that. Nobody's fooled by this nonsense anymore. But they're still doing it, and they're getting worse, and they're grabbing more power. And now Britain's under an executive rule, basically Boris Johnson says, therefore it is. And it's the same all over the world. And you say, Jim, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, I actually don't like conspiracy theories, but this is a conspiracy, because all of these people know fine well, they're telling lies, all of these people know fine well that this is not real, and there is no real danger to health. So they must all be conspiring, but for what reason? It's to crash the complete normal society that we understand and grew up with, and introduce a new society where it's absolutely draconian rule from a centre point. It's like communism, I suppose, or fascism. And everybody will obey, and they wipe out as much private enterprise and business as they possibly can. So we're completely dependent on Amazon and eBay and all these other things, because their profits are going through the roof. I mean, I think Amazon's actually went up 100%. That's what's going on. We are now entering the dark ages of feudal lords, but the feudal lords will be the corporate giants. They will be the new, they will be the new warlords. And if you don't agree with it, you'll be excluded. You'll, like we've been deplatformed, you'll be depersoned. You won't be able to buy anything because they'll recognise you, say, Dowson, no, you're always criticising us. No, you can't buy nothing online. And that's how it's going to be. And eventually then you'll have to have some kind of vaccine, and you'll have to be chipped so that nobody keeps having to check your paperwork. So when you walk into the supermarket, there'll be sensors on the doors and it'll beep, beep. You know, if you try and shoplift, you walk out with the tags on. It'll be like that, beep, beep. So, sorry, sir, you don't seem to be chipped. You can't come in this store. Goodbye. And that's how it's going to be. Well, remember, friends, this book here predicted all this many, many hundreds of generations ago. And people mocked and people laughed and people said, that'll never happen. But it's happening. It's actually happening. It's not going to happen. It's happening. And what are you going to do about it? All your bluster and bravado soon are going to come for you. And you're going to have the strength to stand for Christ and say, you can do what you want. You can take my body. You can take my bones. But you'll never, ever corrupt my faith. And you can never have my soul, because that's already been given. And it's been given to our risen Lord and Saviour, Christ Jesus. That's where we're going with this. So we'll see how many people can stand the fires and stand the flames, because that's where we're going to head. If you don't comply, you will be, first of all, economically sanctioned. You'll lose your job, you'll lose your reputation, but eventually you'll lose your life. And that's where we're at. So we need to be careful, and we need to get back into this book, and we need to band together as brothers in the Templar order. So if you're not a Templar and you're watching this, you're either insane, mad as a hatter, or you just don't get it. You're still not getting it. And I'm talking to somebody with nothing between their ears other than a wind tunnel. If you're not already a Templar, you should join the Templars. There'll be a wee link up here in a minute. Listen, you need to stand together. Unity is strength, and if we're unified, singing off the one hymn sheet, we're fine. I despise this cry for unity that I hear. There's a big march and parade on Saturday in London. Everybody saying, we must unite the right. These people aren't right. These people are libertarians. They're there for free speech. These people believe in abortion. They believe in LGBTQ+. They believe in the most rancid things you could ever imagine. We cannot unite with them. That's fake unity. And Jesus says here he didn't come to unite. He came to divide. Father against son, mother against daughter. That's what the Lord came for. He came with a sword to divide. If you don't understand that, you need to do a basic study in the Bible. You've got it all wrong. You cannot unite with people who are not in your wavelength and don't agree with you. Black and white, oil and water, evil and goodness, it cannot happen. But between us, people who are all on the same hymn sheet, yes, we must unite. Yes, absolutely, we must unite. But we become weak if we allow some of these other libertarians in because they agree with us in one point. They may agree with Islamic immigration is not a good thing. Yeah, but abortion is even worse. LGBTQ is doing far more damage to society than the Muslims are. So you can't just pick on one thing. They've got to agree with us. And what do we agree with? We agree with this. That's our rule book. Start to finish. We have nothing added, nothing taken away. This, if you agree with us, you can unite with us. You don't agree with us, go away. We don't want nothing to do with you. That's very harsh. No, it's not harsh at all. Because a chain is only strong as its weakest link. And if we have one of you godless people in with us, the minute the persecution comes, you'll scream like a big girl's blouse and run away for cover. Or you'll disgrace yourself and capitulate and buckle and be swept up with the enemy. And we don't want that. We would rather go out as holy martyrs than snivelling cowards who comply and who go in with the enemy. And I'm afraid most people go in with the enemy. We won't be doing it. So if you're not a Templar, please join. I think the link, did the link up there, brother? Yeah, there's a link up there. And finally, I just want to, the poor techie brother's demented. He was staggering about the office today because he's been on that computer for days, getting all your weapons out. That's good news. All your weapons. What was it? Warrior. What did we do today, brother? Warrior packs.
We have done.
So we've done all of these.
This
This is the most vicious thing. This is awful. This is a terrible vicious thing.
is
Oh
warrior
dear.
packs one today. Swords are tomorrow.
This is away. What's it? Warrior packs are away today.
Yep.
Swords, individual swords are going tomorrow.
Hammers.
And these hammers, these are away. Warrior packs are away, which is swords and daggers, and a few other bits and bobs, and it's all going now. It's all going.
Yeah.
UPS.
Anybody that's expecting one will receive it.
If you're expecting one, you'll get a notification. You'll know they're on the way. Well, let me just bring this thing. Remember, we've got some of these. You demanded that we got more of them, so we did get more of them. So if you haven't got one of these, and I think there's a link going up, hopefully, for one of these, please avail yourself of one of these. They're on a payment plan. We have ordered more in because we were asked to do so by several people. So we have them. So I don't want to be sitting with, well, I would quite like to be sitting with these all around the Priory, to be quite honest with you. They're lovely. But if you want one of these, please get yourself one and you won't regret it. They're beautiful things. Very heavy, but... So that's it. Well, that's all from me. Tomorrow... Oh, no, it's not all from me. I want to show you a very shocking thing, actually. Now, let me get the background of this. This is quite a violent video, so, brace yourself. What is this? Tell me what this is.
It's kind of
It's in Wisconsin, that place where the black fella was shot in the back. Everybody's been out riding. By the way, a lot of people riding are white, liberal, lefty, Antifa, crackpots. But they picked on the wrong boy because some locals have got together to guard the shops and guard the petrol stations. And these thugs and hooligans have tried to attack the gas station, for our American friends. And they jumped on one great vigilante, one good, what I would call a patriot who was guarding private property. They've jumped him. Wait to see what happens to them. God bless this young man. I salute you, sir. They've got him on the ground, you see. Can you hear me? Yeah, so they've got him on the ground, and like a pack of hyenas, they're leaping on him, but they don't realise this young fella can fight. He's got some fighting spirit in him. Four shots now. I don't think we can show you what the damage he done. But one guy's basically got his arm blown off up at the bicep. Atomised bicep. There's footage we don't want to show you, but you just see it, boof, it's just atomised. So this young guy's rolling about the ground, boom, 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 shooting these guys. To such young men, I feel confident that America can survive what's ever coming. Because he's on the ground rolling about like a turtle, and they're all kicking and gouging at him. And he manages to get 4 shots off and defend himself. Son, your mother and father reared you well. They taught you well. Probably your father taught you how to handle that gun, and your mother installed into you how to be a man. God bless your parents. They should be so proud of you. And thank goodness, because those folk would have killed you. And instead of that, you defended yourself. You've not killed any of them, thank goodness. It's never a nice thing to kill people. But that guy's lost his arm. He'll remember the next time he tries to pick on somebody on the ground not to do that, because he's only got one other arm left. So, God bless you. The Templars salute you, sir. We'll try and get in contact with you. If we can find out who this young fella is, the Templars will send him... Well, what have we got?
Didn't know that.
What is it?
The boy who got his arm blown off
Yep.
was armed.
Oh, the guy who got his arm blown off is actually armed with a handgun. So they were going to murder that young man, that young patriot who was guarding private property. They were going to murder him, but he said his arm blown off. Very nasty indeed. So if anybody knows anything to do with that young fella, or his family, or connections, or whatever, let us know, because we want to send him a nice plaque thanking him and congratulating him on behalf of the Templar Order, and the Americans can add on to that on behalf of the decent American people. Well done. So that's all from me. Good to see men being men and standing up for themselves. Not enough of it. Not enough of it. Tomorrow I'm going to try and have a guest on, okay? Hopefully we'll have more progress on the chapter house to show you. I'm so excited about it. I really am bursting at the guts to get this thing finished. It's fantastic, and God bless everybody who's helping us with it. We really appreciate it. These are good people. So that's all from me, and if the Lord preserves me, I'll be there tomorrow. But until then, remember, and I say it every time, and I'll never get fed up saying it, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Dus Vault.